Well, good evening. I'm Doug Covey. I'm the CEO of a nonprofit, and it's a great pleasure to be here. 12 years ago, my wife and I decided to have kids. And today, we are extremely fortunate to have an 11, and a 9, and a 7-year-old. But it was about 5 years ago where we thought we needed to get some help. Right? We needed a mentor or a coach or somebody to provide a little bit more guidance, because after all, if you think about it, I'm the irreversible result of my parents, and my parents are the irreversible result of their parents. And there's times when we are proud, and at other times when we are maybe rather want to forget about it, that our kids are and will become the irreversible result of us. So we found an individual, a child psychologist and a parenting coach, and there was a number of us in our community that decided to take this 16-week workshop. It was a parenting class. And at that class, that's where we learned about the family council. Now the concept is really straightforward. The guidelines, the principles of this is that there really shouldn't be one individual making all decisions for others, right? That in order to perform and develop a well-functioning family, one individual can't do that for everybody. So the guidelines of this and what we do each week is we find a common area, a table. We identify a leader. We identify a secretary. And that role, that rotates through each week because we're trying to increase the level of responsibility. Now, granted, the leader also, given a 3-year-old versus somebody that's in their 30s or 40s, the 3-year-old has to be able to read and write if they're going to lead, the meeting. But they participate. So the agenda goes like this. What we do is when we come together every Sunday, we start off by talking about affirmations, complimenting one another. We talk about the old business, the financials, the new business, and the calendar. And as Greg Easterbrook wrote in his book, Progress Paradox, how today we have more than ever and how we're less happy. We have a lot more material wealth, but people are far happier. And what the virtues of happiness are is that we're more grateful for who we are or where we've come from. We're more forgiving of others, and we're more optimistic about the future. Well, when you look at that, and when you take Easterbrook's model and you kind of align it over here with the family council, when we talk about affirmations, who doesn't like to feel good about and recognized for what they've done? And if you talk about the old business and the new business, it's creating this environment that's allowing us to share ideas, bring issues to the table, and try to solve them. You have to compromise, so you're being forgiving of one another. And when you look at the calendar, and when you think about the calendar, it's off into the future. It's something to look forward to. And for a 3 or a 5 or even a 15-year-old, right, a day can feel like a month, and a month certainly feels like a year. So when we talk about the affirmations, the old business, the financials, the new business that we're going to come and talk about, and we go into the calendar, there's some guidelines too. There's some perimeters. So the baseline here is that the discussions that are having within the family, well, those are the agreed upon rules, right? That sets that layer of trust with one another, right? That's the foundation of any relationship, is trust first before you can even get to results. And first you have to go through a level of accountability and conflict to be able to get to those results, right? So we establish those that what is discussed becomes the rules of the family. It's not meant as a gripe session, right? That everybody has their say, but not necessarily everybody's going to have their way. If you have an issue, you bring a solution to it. So what the family council is a place that the parent is able to establish a well-functioning family, a well-functioning team. What it's not, right, is you're not giving up the role of the parent when it's the health and wellness of the family. So we thought, well, if it works over here in the family, if we can adopt it over here in our family, what if we brought it to work? So as we started doing this, we've done it for 5 years, and we said, well, let's see if we can put it into the workplace. Now, we needed it. We were going through a time where we've done annual employee surveys, and we thought it's time. We had a dip in some of this employee satisfaction rating. We also knew that there was some tension amongst team members. So 13 months ago, we introduced this into our team. The framework is very much the same with a slight caveat. We have, everybody gets a chance to lead. We have a secretary that rotates too. We also allow, believe it or not, we allow somebody who brings a snack who doesn't like to eat at meetings. We also do a team building activity, and that rotates, and that's the responsibility of each individual for each month. So we come together each month. The other thing that we do is that we thought, in order to build and strengthen our own community within our team, we assign somebody each month to identify a location, a new location. So we don't do it on our campuses. We actually identify like-minded agencies and institutions to be able to hold this environment that allows deeper collaboration outside of our own walls. We have the same kind of guidelines. Everybody is able to share, everybody participates. The decisions and the rules are established on that front line too. And here's what we found. About 3 months, I started asking the question, does this still have value? Does this still have meaning? Does this still have purpose? And what we found is that anecdotally, people were certainly more appreciative of being recognized for the value and the benefits that they bring into the team. The other component that we add into is we call them speed updates, that you have in this leadership group, there's 10 of us, and you have about 3 minutes to share what you're working on. And everybody's working on individual aspects of their roles and their jobs. And it's in that 3 minutes where wider spread ideas were being brought to the table. Steve Johnson's book, Where Good Ideas Come From, that if I've got an idea over here and you've got an idea over here and we collide, that chance favors a connected mind. So there was a wider spread of collaboration that was existing amongst the team. And that was about 6 months. But then what it really dawned was just last year, actually last December, for the last 8 years, we've been using a Gallup poll of a survey, an employee satisfaction survey, asking 10 questions, everywhere from, does the mission and purpose of the organization matter? Do I contribute to that? Am I being recognized for the work in which I'm performing? Has my boss recognized me? And out of those 12 questions, 9 of them increased substantially for us. In fact, 4 had triple-digit increase over a dip of the last in the previous year. And what happened, it wasn't just one event. It wasn't something that we incentivized employees to do over the year. What it was is that deliberately, every month, as a team, we're coming together, we're affirming what we're doing, we believe in what we're doing, we're recognizing others for doing that. We're able to talk about new ideas, explore and solve the old business that we've talked about, and we've also been able to look at the future as far as our calendar goes. So whether we're working and using this model, the family council at home, or what we call the leadership gathering at work, has been very beneficial. It has set a level of expectations amongst the team. It's respecting one another. It's recognizing the work that each of them are able to perform. And it's been a lot greater beneficial for us. And certainly we're a lot happier for that. So as Greg Easterbrook talks about in Progress Paradox, we are certainly more grateful for who we are and what we're doing, whether it's in the family or in the workspace. We're more forgiving of one another and working at those solutions to solve those, and creating environments to allow us to come and talk about those. And finally, we're certainly more optimistic about the future. Thank you.